Namaskar. I had the honor of serving Indian cricket. Over the years, Indian cricket saw its very best in terms. Namaskar. I had the honor of serving Indian cricket. Over the years, Indian cricket saw its very best in terms of administration and development of the game. BCCI is the best managed sports organization in the country with defined procedures. India has the best cricket infrastructure built and maintained by the state associations with the help of BCCI. India has more quality players than anywhere in the world. For me, it was not a personal battle. It was a battle for the autonomy of the sports body. I respect Supreme Court as any citizen should. Supreme Court judges feel that BCCI could do better under retired judges. I wish them all the best. I'm sure Indian cricket will do well under their guidance. My commitment to the best of Indian cricket and autonomy of sports will always remain. Namaskar. I had the honor of Namaskar. I had the honor of serving Indian cricket. Over the years, Indian cricket saw its very best in terms of administration and development of the game. BCCI is the best managed sports organization in the country with defined procedures. India has the best cricket infrastructure built and maintained by the state associations with the help of BCCI. India has more quality players than anywhere in the world. For me, it was not a personal battle. It was a battle for the autonomy of the sports body. I respect Supreme Court as any citizen should. Supreme Court judges feel that BCCI could do better under retired judges. I wish them all the best. I'm sure Indian cricket will do well under their guidance. My commitment to the best of Indian cricket and autonomy of sports will always remain. Namaskar. I had the honor of
Former BCCI president, remember, the Supreme Court has cracked the whip today and the entire top brass has to go along with Ajay Shirke. New head, interim head has been announced. Let's go across to my colleague Rakshita Mishra for more. Rakshita, Anurag's first statement right here on NewsX.
Now the BCCI will have been no options but to, of course, understand and succumb to the pressure. Now BCCI will, of course, Anurag Thakur is the outgoing president. Remember, he had now he's saying that he respects the Supreme Court order, but that is what Lodha said right after the verdict, that he hoped that Thakur had taken the Supreme Court earlier seriously and not face the ire
Stay
right
on,
now.
stay on, Rakshita. Rishabh Gulati also joining us right now. Big blow to the BCCI current brass. The Supreme Court finally agreeing with Rishabh with the Lodha recommendation. They're no longer recommendations. That is the law and everyone has to accept it.
You know, the Supreme Court has passed a ruling, and after challenging it every step in every possible way on an extreme borderline challenge to the Supreme Court, finally the two people, specifically the man on your screen, Anurag Thakur, and the BCCI Secretary, Mr. Shirke, have decided, and you're seeing a very straightforward statement, and Anurag Thakur is still not pulling any punches. He's made it very clear, look, that if you feel that the ex-retired Supreme Court judges can run the BCCI better than us, then best of luck to you. This seems to be it. But let's not kid ourselves. This is not the last word that's going to be had on this entire episode. You can rest assured that given the nature of the BCCI as a private body, challenges to this will be made, examinations to this will be made. But the fundamental question remains, Athar, is will there be structural reform in the BCCI? Will we see a BCCI 2.0? It's a concept of putting together cricketing bodies, dating back to pre-1975, I mean, in some cases pre-independent state formulations, which is being challenged. Transparency is one of the demands. So if the BCCI can be restructured, the question then becomes on who is going to restructure it. Is it going to be the politicians who generally end up ruling sports bodies like the BCCI? Anurag Thakur is only one of them. It's always been politicians from one hue of the spectrum to the other. Or is it going to be administrators? If it's going to be administrators, will they be retired judges, as the first case port of call of the Supreme Court has been, or will they be within the cricketing community, people who step up, legends of the game who step up to take on the mantle? Will administrators be as savvy as the BCCI czars of the past in turning a profitable game and ruling the world of cricket? There are lots of ponderables still remaining.
Right. Rishabh, stay with us. We'll get some reactions coming in right now on this very big story. Like Rishabh said, this perhaps that undertone of scoffing in Anurag Thakur's voice was not mistaken at all. Nobody missed that, saying if the retired judges can run the BCCI better, best of luck to them. Let's listen to reactions coming in.
Anurag Thakur, the BCCI former president, he has been talking that he had done nothing wrong and he has been taking the help of former cricketers. Was that also a fair practice? Because once you cannot try to influence the Supreme Court's decision by any case.
Whatever he had to say, he said before the Supreme Court, and as Supreme Court has passed the order, that's final.
What has not been understood by many, or some I would say, is the fact that these were no longer the Lodha Committee recommendations. They had become the judgment of the Supreme Court, which cannot be debated. Unfortunately, there has been a debate that we can't follow this, we cannot do this. Right or wrong, the Supreme Court judgment is binding on every association, every body and every individual in this country. They gave them time and again opportunities to mold themselves according to the Supreme Court judgment now, not the Lodha Committee recommendation. But I think the BCCI for not agreeing to, not following it, so this was a consequence.
This is a very prominent decision, and the very fact that the highest court in the country had to take it up, it indicates that things were pretty bad, and they were getting out of hand. But they have been, the evil, to my mind, has been nipped in the bud now.
उच्चतम न्यायालय सुप्रीम कोर्ट का जो निर्णय आया है वो भी मैंने देखा नहीं। एक बार देखने के बाद मेरे लिए टिप्पणी करना ठीक हो।
Question of Anurag Thakur and others, I don't know the merits and demerits. I have not read the judgment. But about Maharashtra and Bombay and Vidarbha, I think all cricketers and cricket-loving people from that state will be very, very unhappy. It is a saddest day for them.
Writing was very much on the wall. The Lodha committee was formed with this particular purpose to see that these reforms were implemented. Board were given far too many opportunities to implement them. Under the guise of the members not agreeing, this was not implemented, which was rather unfortunate. The question that arises is that what next? Now, I think personally that the Joint Secretary would take over as the Secretary of the Board and run the affairs of the Board. In the meanwhile, a High Court committee would be formed by the Board, by the Honorable Supreme Court, which will run the affairs of the Board on day-to-day basis, at least for a couple of months.
Lodha Commission come out with all stakeholders and they have given a roadmap for the future of the cricket. But Lodha Commission recommendation, they were trying to play like a really ball here and there. And they were denying the Supreme Court judgment. You know, you can give your opinion about the judgment, but how can you deny the recommendation of the judgment part? So that BCCI was doing. They have filed the wrong affidavit. Perjury case is there, the contempt case is there. So both way their removal is justified.
Whatever Supreme Court has said, that is the final, and we all have to abide that. See, whatever, let the first read full the report, and then our lawyer will give us our advice what to do in our state cricket association.